Hi guys, biracial Tiffany here. I've been off YouTube for a few days for the most part, and it's because I'm working on a play right now and I'm playing a biracial girl with a white mom and a black dad. So anyway, I've just sort of been feeling like I need to not be thinking so much like a biracial girl with a black mom. I think everyone who's ever made a video response to me, definitely. It's amazing to me that I've met so many people this way, but especially those girls with white moms who've made video responses. I've been watching some of them over and over again, just sort of imagining more and more what that's like. So thanks for your help. Here's an interview I got with Cory. I think you're gonna like it a lot. I hope so. Hey Cory, thank you for granting me this interview.
You're welcome.
And for taking pictures of me that I love. Okay, so you were just saying before I turned the camera on that you were excited to do this interview.
Because I've never really spoken about this to a broad audience before, and I think that I can offer good wisdom, good insight on what being mixed is all about. Because I'm really happy to be mixed.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I like to tell everybody when I can.
Which of your parents belongs to which race?
My mom is African American and my father's Caucasian.
And where were they born and raised?
Let's see, my dad was born in Iowa and raised in Iowa. And my mom was born in Michigan and raised in Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan.
So they never moved from wherever they were born. They stayed. So.
Where did they meet then?
Good question. But they moved to Arizona Bible College at the same time. Ended up leaving here. I was told that they got kicked out because they were together, which you're not supposed to have relationships anyways. But maybe if it wasn't a black and white, then they just give them a strike. Right. I don't know. They say they got kicked out. Maybe they just stopped going.
Well, where did they go next?
After that, I believe they went to Iowa to get married.
So it was legal, but it was not a big deal?
For them, it wasn't a big deal. In their hearts, really, I would say, because they really loved each other. You know, once everybody found out that they were going to get married, it was kind of, it was a big deal. More so, they were just concerned about their well-being and stuff like that. It wasn't like my dad's my mom's was like an animal or anything, but they just said that being two different cultures was a little iffy back then, you know. So they were concerned about that, you know.
And what about your black family? Were they concerned or?
I would say they were they were pissed off.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, people often don't ask about that side's reaction.
They were pissed off more than my dad's side, excuse me. It's funny that my grandfather's, he's mixed too. He has a little bit of Indian and white, but he was like anything but white. You know, he could be mixed, he could be white. He was like, he does not want that for his daughter. You know, he ended up meeting my father, and after they got married, they ended up just loving each other. So he ended up loving my father. They got married and soon had the first kid, which was my sister. That was a whole other situation back then. You know, what is the kid going to be? Is he going to be black or white? How are they going to raise her?
Both families were concerned about this? At what year was your sister born?
She was born, and she's 31. So she was born in
76 or 7?
Yeah. They, you know, again, it was more like a concern for my dad's side. It was more like a concern thing more than like a race thing, I would say, because they met my mom and she was beautiful. She was so smart and she was so friendly. They really liked her a lot. So it was more like a concern thing when they would say something. It wasn't like that N-word, you know.
Right.
They wouldn't be like that, but they would be more so like just concerned with the kids and stuff. So once my sister was born, she, you know, everybody just opened up to her, they loved her, and it seemed like the white side was more accepting at first, which I find ironic because African Americans are mixed too, you know, down the line. So I would think that, but if it's like 100% white, I think it's a different story, you know.
Well, I think a lot of people think, they assume they're 100% white, but like, how do we really know?
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
But
That's true.
kind of. I have another sister, right?
I have another sister that's 2 years younger than my older sister. Yeah.
So you're the youngest. What was your childhood like? I know that's a really broad question, so I guess I'm kind of asking in terms of race.
Mm-hmm. It was, well, I grew up in Michigan, and I don't really remember going through a lot of racial things, really.
What was your school predominantly one race together?
It was predominantly white, my school. But I was around black people too, so. First time I started, like, realizing that I was mixed would be, like, when people would make comments to me, like, about my skin color, if it was lighter than theirs or darker than theirs, or ask me where I'm from.
As a kid?
I would say going into middle school. When I was a kid, nobody really said anything about it. For me, it wasn't a big issue. Ever really, but when I started realizing it, it was like when I was in middle school, whenever it started occurring to me that I was in between. You know?
And if you went to school with mostly white kids, where were your interactions with black kids?
It was with both, but what I realized was that what happened would be I wouldn't have a friend that was 100% my friend, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because they weren't hanging out together really, so I would have to like hang out with one group and then hang out with another group, and then I would miss out on a lot of the fun times, you know, with certain groups, because I would feel like one part of me would have to hang out with, you know, this group, and then another time it would be this group, and it felt they both I could relate to.
Right. Do you think that your white friends thought of you as their black friend or their white friend? I mean, of course, we hope that the answer is they thought of you as Cory, but on some level, I think even when we're well-intentioned and think of people that way, I just wonder, like, when it came down to it, if they had even been asked. What do you think?
I think it would be more obvious, like with my closer friends, when I knew my parents.
Right.
They would understand I was mixed, but well, I'm not for sure. It never even came up because, man, I definitely felt like when I would hang out with some of my white friends, I could see them treating some of my white friends' parents treating black people a little differently. Not better or worse, but just a little.
Like there's a divide.
Yeah. And I didn't feel that divide. My friends or anything like that. I just felt comfortable with them, and I felt like I didn't feel like they were prejudiced or anything like that. I don't know why. But I did feel connection with them, with both sides, you know. But then again, like I said, it was just like I compromised my time with both. You know, a little situation. Sometimes I end up being alone. Wouldn't be up to date with this group or that group, you know. And then I would be not considered a sellout. I would just be like, where's Cory, you know? Oh, he's hanging out with so-and-so.
Was there ever a moment where you realized, because for me I feel like I can't say there was one, but I just think it must have been like a gradual sort of putting the pieces together that, being white means something and being black means something, and what the heck does being in the middle mean?
Well, with my family it was different, my school was different. Now when I went with my family, I moved from Iowa when I was 2, so I didn't really have really close ties with my dad's side. I mean, I would visit them once a year, twice a year. I would go to Iowa, I would feel more on the black side because Iowa was ultra white, because it would be like something that's sticking out from the whole norm of who they are. But then I would go to my mom's side, and then I would feel different as well. I feel like I would speak differently. I couldn't really like vibe 100% with either one because I wasn't 100% them, but at the same time I could relate to them. It was who I was, but it was like only 50%. I wasn't the type of mixed person that would go one way or the other. I would just be in the middle, I think.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I appear in the middle, and because I feel in my heart that I'm both.